Hello everyone, this is Cecilia speaking again. Thank you very much for the attention. And today our webinar's topic is about virtualization transformation. I'm very happy to share with you Vinchin's solution for V2V cross-platform migration, because we know that many enterprises are running hybrid virtualization environment nowadays. And they are looking for a reliable backup solutions and cross-platform migration demand for their hybrid environment. So I'm going to introduce you with Vinchin solution on cross-platform migration, and we will have my colleague Spring Luo later on to show you a live demonstration on how to master V2V migration on Vinchin Backup and Recovery step by step. Okay, so without further ado, let's go through with the details. So for hybrid virtualization users, there may be a series of challenges that you may face when migrating across virtual platforms. Firstly, you may have large numbers of VMs in hybrid virtualizations with very big data volume. If you want to transfer to another platform, it must need quite a lot of time and manpower. Second, all virtualizations are managed separately, usually, and the VMs can be backed up with agents or without agents, but they can only be restored to the original virtualization. Besides, when some emergency situation happens, like the virtualization level risk happened, the business cannot be recovered quickly. So I believe this may be some of the main pain points for you to run in hybrid virtualization environment. And for the traditional migration solution, normally it needs to install agent on each guest OS. And the operation process and configurations may be very complicated and time-consuming. And sometimes it exists problems that when migration job is done, the migrated virtual machines on the platforms cannot be functioned well because of the compatibility issues. So it will make all the works useless. And for some other vendors, their migration solution is to export the virtual disk files from one virtualization and use their own tools to convert the disk format, and then manually import them to the targeted virtualization one by one. This method has some limitations, such as the migration can only be performed in one direction but cannot be performed bidirectional. It is not very flexible, and the administrator cannot do it in batches. Each time, the exporting and conversion could be a very long process, which consumes a lot of time and manpower. So therefore, we have concluded users' demand on cross-platform migration, and Vinchin's solution for V2V migration is based on these needs. So let's take a look at this. Firstly, the virtual machines migration needs to be efficient, compatible, and reliable. For companies in hybrid environments, it is important to migrate in short window to reduce business downtime and defend against the virtualization level crashdown risk. And secondly, for companies in hybrid virtualizations, as I mentioned before, it is important to do the disaster recovery. And thirdly, for the system administrator, the easier the migration process, the better, such as the streamlined operation steps, the unified intuitive interface for easy job management and maintenance. And well, so let's take a look at Vinchin's solution for cross-platform migration. As you can see in this picture, Vinchin supports up to 15 mainstream virtualization for agentless V2V migration between any two of these platforms, including VMware, Overt, OpenStack, Microsoft Hyper-V, and many other platforms. The operation for the migration process is very simple. Just follow our intuitive wizard guidance. No need to operate on the virtualizations, and there's no extra configurations, just like you do the normal backup or recovery job steps. And our colleague Spring Luo will show you this on live demonstration later on. So with Vinchin, you can do the batch virtual machine backups or migration to complete the virtualization transformation at one time. This greatly saves the administrator's time. Besides, we support instant V2V restore. If you are considering solutions with high requirements for RTO, the short business downtime, or you want to prevent virtualization level risk in emergency cases, our instant agentless V2V restore is a suitable solution for you. We can restore the virtual machines from the original virtualizations to a new one with the RTO in 1 minute to help you to achieve the business continuity. So next, please let me explain more with you how does Vinchin realize agentless V2V migration. The core technology we use is called VMCE, Virtual Machine Cross-Platform Conversion Engine. It is researched and developed by Vinchin. So the basic principle here is that before migrating to the new platform, Vinchin Backup System will automatically rebuild and transform the VM configuration files and storage files that would adjust to the targeted virtualizations, then completing the whole data migration process. It is compatible with all Vinchin-supported virtualizations, as I mentioned before, which are totally about 15 market mainstream platforms. And here is a picture that clearly shows you the process of our agentless V2V migration on Vinchin Backup and Recovery. You just need to create 2 jobs. The first one is to create a backup job, performing the agentless backup from the original virtualization. And you can transfer the data through length-free transmission. This will not impact your production area. Then performing the normal restore job by just selecting to restore to another new platform. Our built-in VMCE will automatically transfer virtual machine files to the format that's compatible to the target virtualization to achieve the agentless cross-platform migration. And next, I'd like to explain more about the 2 typical V2V migration application scenarios. This is suitable. So the first one is the V2V full virtual machines migration. This is suitable for the users who want to change their virtualization to another one. Or for the enterprises that are running in a hybrid virtualization environment, they need a comprehensive backup protection solution to defend against the virtualization level risk. And Vinchin devotes to provide users with the effortless cross-platform migration. We use the batch and automated migration process, helping you to smoothly complete the entire virtualization transformation without any manual attendance. And the second scenario is usually used for the emergency cases to recover the data across platforms in a very short business downtime. Then in this situation, I suggest Vinchin V2V instant migration. This is very applicable to this situation. Normally, the RTO will be less than 1 minute. I believe this may be enough for you to maintain the business continuity. Okay, so here's a brief summary of Vinchin's solution on V2V migration feature. As I mentioned before, our solution is agentless backup and recovery and migration strategy. It is all-in-one solution. We support up to 15 market mainstream bi-directional cross-platform migration. We support both V2V full virtual machine restore and instant virtual machine restore. And lastly, I wanted to mention is that Vinchin Backup and Recovery is an all-in-one comprehensive data protection solution. All of the features are integrated in one unified platform with an intuitive web UI. It is very easy to deploy and it's quickly to get started. And probably maybe we are the easiest to use solution in the market with high performance without any learning curve for our customers. And our colleague Spring Luo will show you this with live demonstration right after. Okay, so this is the end of my part. Thank you very much for the listening. Now I'm pass my mic back to Jen.
So before I do the demonstration, I see some questions. So maybe I can answer the question first. I see that one question from Tommy for the V2V migration process still need backup first after that restore to another platform, right? Yes, Vinchin Backup Recovery, our V2V migration is based on backup job and restore job. So you need to just add both the source and the target platform on Vinchin, and then you perform a backup job from the source platform. Then use the backup data to create a restore job to the target platform. Then Vinchin will automatically complete the migration process. And it's just the agentless way. They're very simple to operate, and I will to show you later. So, yes, for today's webinar, it's all about Vinchin agentless V2V migration among 15 mainstream virtual platforms, including like VMware, Hyper-V, and some DEN-based platform like DEN server, and also some KVM-based platform like OpenStack and some others. And I already mentioned for Vinchin, it's very easy to do the migration. Just add both the source and the target platform on Vinchin. Then Vinchin will automatically complete the process. And there we got two ways to do the migration for Vinchin. One is to do the migration with the full VM restore feature. And another is to do the migration with the instance restore feature. There's some difference between them, and I will show you one by one later. So first is the V2V migration with the full VM restore. And before we do the migration, we have some things to do. So first things we need to do is to add the virtual platform. For example, if I want to migrate from the Citrix platform to the VMware platform, I just add both the Citrix and VMware platform on Vinchin. So for Citrix, you need to download a backup plugin in the host. And for VMware, you just need to type in the IP address and the credential, then you will get this platform on Vinchin. So this is the first step we need to do. And second step, we also need to add a storage to store the backup data, because I mentioned before, for migration, Vinchin's way is based on the backup and restore job. So we need to have a storage to store the backup data. So those are those two things we need to do before we do the migration. And here I already add both the virtual platform and the storage on Vinchin. Then I can start to do first is the V2V migration by using the full VM restore. Okay, so firstly is we need to perform a backup job. For example, if I want to migrate from the Citrix to VMware, I will choose say the virtual machine I would like to migrate to VMware. You can also to do the to choose multiple virtual machine in one backup job. Then you can to migrate to do the batch migration by using the full VM restore. And here I will just choose one. The second step, choose the backup destination where to store the backup data. Third step is to configure the backup strategies. Here we have two modes. You can backup as a schedule, or you can do once-off backup. If you set as schedule, you can also choose to do the full backup, or just to combine the full backup with the incremental, differential, or even you can do the forever incremental backup. And here we have the speed controller. You can use it to limit the max speed, because if the speed too high, it may have some impact on the production environment. Here, the data storage policy. You can enable the data duplication compression to reduce the backup data size. And also we have the data encryption. You can encrypt the backup data to secure it. Here, the retention policy, we also have two modes, short-term and long-term retention. For short-term, you can just retain by the number of restore points or by number of things. And for long-term retention, it's just based on the famous JFS retention policy. You can keep the first full backup points for much longer, like weekly, monthly, or even yearly. And we also got some advanced strategy here. The bit detector, this is used to further reduce the backup data size. And if you have for the transmission strategy, if you have the SAN network, you can also choose the SAN to transfer, or if you have a dedicated network. There's some more advanced strategy. Set up schedule. Okay, so that's basically how to perform the backup job. And after we finish the backup, then we are able to use the backup data to create a restore job to complete the migration process. And here I already have a backup data I just performed before, so I will use it to do the migration. So for the migration, also 4 steps. Firstly, we choose a restore points. And second step, we choose the restore destination. You see here, I got all the platform I just add before list here, which means I can to migrate the virtual machine from Citrix to any other platform I want that's Vinchin supports. So here I will just migrate to VMware platform to see how it works. After we choose the target host, it will send the request to ask for the resources on the VMware platform. So it takes some time. Let's just wait for a moment. You can also config to change those VM configurations, like you can choose to power on it and rename it. You can set the CPU, the RAM, and some other settings. The third step is to configure the restore strategy, which is just similar as do the backup. And then the fourth step, we just take an overview. If there's no problem, we submit this job. And we can start. So now the migration process already starts. Here, you can check the run log details. And you can see how many virtual machine you migrate this time. And after this job finished, we are able to, we can also to go to VMware platform to see if we got this virtual machine there. So that's the first scenarios to do the migration by using full VM restore. And for this feature, you can just to use for some non-critical virtual machine to guarantee the data consistency. First, you can to power off it, and then to do the backup, and then migrate this virtual machine to the VMware platform to guarantee the data consistency. Okay, now this job already finished. You can go to VMware to see this one. Yeah, it's already powered on. And it starts to boot. You see, we can log into it to use it very quickly. So that's yes, that's the first one. The V2V migration by using the full VM restore. And next, I would like to show you is to do the migration by using our instance restore feature. So the main difference between those two ways is that instance restore, the V2V migration with the instance restore feature, you can just use for some business critical virtual machine. For those critical virtual machine, we are not only need to guarantee the data consistency, but also we need to minimize the possible business downtime. Then in this case, we can use this feature because our instance restore feature, you can resume the business in 1 minute. It's very powerful. Also, firstly, we choose a restore point, and then we choose the target host. The same I will restore to the VMware platform. And let's wait for a moment. I will power on it. And now the instance restore job already starts. For the instance restore, the principle is first connect to the vSender server and then mount the NFS data store. And then we'll create an instance restore virtual machine on the target platform. And then you can just directly run business on the instance restore virtual machine. You see, now it said the instance restore job already finished. You can see the whole process takes only 30 seconds, even more or less than 1 minute. It's very powerful for some, if you got some critical business virtual machine, you can use the instance restore to migrate and also to resume it quickly. We can also go to vSender to check this one. So this is the instance restore virtual machine just created, and also it's already powered on. It starts to boot. So this is the second one, how we use the how we do the V2V migration by using the instance restore feature. And but for the instance restore virtual machine, it is a temporary virtual machine, and it's using a temporary NFS data store you see here. So, which means after we finish the migration process, we also need to migrate to your production environments, because this is just a temporary virtual machine and storage. So let's suppose this one is my production host. I will again to migrate to production host. The live migration now starts. So for the migration, there's totally 4 steps. First, we'll connect to the production host, and then we'll create a migration virtual machine on the production host. And the second step is to migrate the original backup data to the migration virtual machine. And the third step, because during the instance restore VM runtime, there will be some new data generated. So the third step is to migrate the new generated data to the migration virtual machine. And the last step is to power off the instance restore VM. During the power off process, there will be some final cache data generated. Then we'll migrate the cache data to migration VM, then power on the migration VM. And after those 4 steps, we can guarantee that all data will migrate to your production host to guarantee the data consistency. Okay, I think now the migration already finished. Yes, this one, the migration VM already power on. This instance restore VM already power off. And also you can use it immediately. So that's the second scenario, how we do the migration by using the instance restore feature. Okay, that's all for the demonstration. And to summarize, Vinchin got 2 ways to do the migration. First is to migrate by using the full VM restore. This you can use for some non-critical virtual machine to power off it, and then do the migration to guarantee the data consistency. And second is the migration with the instance restore feature. This you can just use for some business critical virtual machine to guarantee the data consistency and also to minimize the possible business downtime. One more difference between them, that for the V2V migration with the full VM restore, you can to migrate the batch virtual machine in one time. But for instance restore, you can just migrate the virtual machine one by one to guarantee the data consistency and also the minimize the business downtime. So that's the main difference between them. Okay, I think that's just all for the demonstration part.